We head up to the city of brotherly shove for a matchup between the undefeated Stars and Big Daddy AE. After a strong week one, Jalen certainly hurts the total score for AE, coming up small with just 18 points. Clunkers all around for AE means he rolled out the red carpet for the Stars. That once again, TJ hocks a loogie in his opponent's face. We are just receiving word that a source within the Big Daddy AE organization has confirmed rumors that the trade winds are in fact blowing. Stars in a landslide, 135-75. Bumble!
We head up to the frozen tundra of Chalfont, PA, where the Fat Cat and the Don battled to see who would remain winless. This one was a rock fight all the way to Monday night. The Herbert to Williams connection continues to produce for the Fat Cat, but a whopping 47 points from the rest of the squad wasn't enough to stave off the Don, and Aaron Jones was stumbling, fumbling, rumbling over the goal line for 4.
4?
That's right, Tej. Count them up 4 times to put the Don into triple digits and over the Fat Cat, 139-94.
A heavyweight battle in Jersey City between the two golf pros, Jibby Johns and the Cool Cat. In honor of the Ryder Cup this week, the Johns said simply, put the ball in the cup. Cooper Cup, that is, with another massive game here in week 2. The Cats take the L despite massive games from Tractor Cito and Lamar Jackson. Johns 144, Cats 131. Some spread.
Let's head to the home of good old boys in the Trap Music Museum, Atlanta, Georgia, where FSL took on the Doves. Another disappointing week for Legend, but Debo is still looking like the guy in SF, and did Stevie just find a running back in Elijah McGuire? Time will tell, but it wasn't enough this week as Rhodes got Rodgers to RELAX and put up a big week on FSL, 164-100.
His name's Elijah Mitchell, Teach, but I appreciate the attempt. A barn burner in Manhattan between Luchinator and the hard hitter. The city's so nice that you can only afford rice. This was my lock of the week, and the Schwami calls his shot again like the great Bambino. Luch continues to lean on the big tight end in Kansas City, and the rest of the lads did just enough. The hitters get a nice bounce-back game from the human pylon Mike Evans. Saquon Charles Barkley continues to look fat and slow, and owners are wondering if he will ever rebound.
Nice hoop stroke, boom.
Thanks, Tej. Luch 126, hitters 124. He could go wait.
Now to our closest contest of the week, Toon vs. Tony. This one came down to the wire and was decided by 0.28 points. Yes, there was a decimal in there, Tej. Even with 73 from Toon Squad's receivers, this one came down to Monday night. He needed Adams to have 21 more than MVS. MVS got goose egg. It all came down to Adams, but no, he can't get in the end zone and ends up with 20. A heartbreaking loss for Little Rhodes. Horton rolls on to 2-0, 141.7 to 141.44.
Red. The Buffaloes take on the reeling burnt toast in week 2 and make quick work of the tasty breakfast snack. The Lows improved to 2-0 despite a slow start to the year for future Super Bowl champion Josh Allen. Another big week from Adam. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. The dynamic RB combination of Clyde the Glide and Jonathan Tractor Taylor combined for a diesel-powered 9-point effort. Burnt toast falls to an uninspired 0-2, and you have to ask, at what point does the fire alarm turn on? Buffaloes 98, Toast 83. All right, week 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the MBMFL. I'm the commissioner and host, SB, along with my co-host, Jibby Johns. Jibby Johns, how are you, sir?
What's going on, SB? Doing well. Glad we got this one in. I think, if I can say, we're slowly getting a little better at the fastest 2 minutes, so hopefully that will continue to improve. But feeling good after a little week to get me a 2-0. Hoping to make it a three-peat here in Jersey City.
Yeah, I got a little feedback that my audio quality was not great last week, so I purchased one of these little doodads that you have. So hopefully that's a little bit better this week. A fun one we had. Yeah, right. It just looks like a little button.
Yeah.
Well, this is our first ever rivalry week. It's a hard word to say. Rivalry week, week 3. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope everyone, kind of gets into it a little bit, and I'm sure it'll be something that evolves over time. But encourage everyone to reach out to your rival, talk some shit, bet a couple bucks. JB and I have decided the loser of our matchup will be forced to do a TikTok dance of the other person's choosing, and they have to actually try and attempt it. So that'll be fun.
I've been thinking of a few. I've been watching a few that have come to mind, so I'm ready.
Yeah, Jesse is absolutely like a TikTok, just obsessed with it. So I'm going to lean on her expertise to pick a really embarrassing one for you. Tough week for me, 0-2, and you're coming off a huge win. I need a win so bad in rivalry week, and we'll see what happens. But let's talk transactions.
Yep.
So nothing crazy this week. Teflon Don wins the Big Daddy Warbucks Award, although I'm not sure how much of an award that is. He picked up J.D. McKissick. He had a good week last week, kind of vultured Gibson. Gibson's had like this shoulder injury. Just never great when you bid 51 and the next closest bid is like $12. That one stings.
Yeah. It's always that time of the year where everyone has a lot of money, so it's just like, if you want your guy, I always end up with money towards the end too. So it's like, if you want your guy, I think I paid around the same for Naeem Hines last year, same thing, and he didn't produce for me. So yeah,
he did have that 40-point game against me on that Thursday night game.
I do remember that was the one game. He was like doing backflips in the end zone.
Yeah, just dancing on my grave. Carson Wentz dropped, could be the end for him. Niger loves Derek Carr. He always has Derek Carr. He's just sucked in by his beautiful eyelashes, I think. But I mean, nothing really else. There wasn't a whole lot of big injuries. I've said to a couple people this week, like, this one feels like a bloody week incoming. We haven't had a massive, league-altering injury yet. Like, Mostert is the biggest one, but it's not league altering, like to a first or second round pick. It's been pretty good through 2 weeks, but knock on wood, it's not my team, but I feel like it's coming.
Yeah, you had a big one on the defensive side, doesn't really affect anything in TJ Watt. And there were a lot of just injuries last week, but nothing. I don't know. Hopefully we have a clean year. No one gets bounced out like CMC last year or anything, but you never know. I'm hoping it's not Kamara or something on my end.
There was a couple mid-range quarterbacks that went down that are, interesting for fantasy.
Yeah.
Right? Dalton getting hurt, Fields comes in. So if you have David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, you're probably thinking, well, it can't get any fucking worse. So like maybe Fields will bring some excitement and energy to the offense.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick going down. Heineke looked pretty good. I feel like if you have Gibson or McLaurin or what's his name, Logan Thomas, it's probably not that big of a change. Tua going out.
It doesn't really affect.
Yeah, fantasy. I guess.
Like maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like Gesicki or Gaskin, yeah, he might. So, yeah, I think there was one other one that I'm forgetting maybe, but a couple weird little QB injuries, some serious. I guess Wentz might not play, but
yeah, you already said Wentz, but yeah, nothing too crazy. And I think, like you said, with all the guys who got hurt, I think it might almost raise the stock of some of the guys. Maybe. I could see Dalton going down, like Fields isn't a pure passer like Dalton, so maybe Robinson goes down a little bit, but you never know. Sometimes those rookie QBs like lean on dudes who are good and just throw it a ton to them. So I don't think any of the injuries really affect too much fantasy wise yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well,
hopefully he turns into something. It could be a keeper.
Yeah, could be a keeper if he blows up. But I'm fairly convinced that Chicago is cursed at the quarterback position and something bad will happen.
Yeah, I agree.
They're just, for whatever reason, they pissed off someone upstairs. Anyway, let's get into matchups. Rivalry week 3.
Let's do it.
Start at the top. The legend versus the Jibby Jones. 0-2 versus 2-0. You're coming off a huge win. Cooper Kupp, and you came off that huge win with a stinker from Alvin the Chipmunk. He didn't even really do anything for you. But Pittman was really good. Gesicki bounced back a little bit. Cooper Kupp's been fantastic. Metcalf has just been okay.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about your squad at this point?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, I like the fact that I've been putting up good numbers with Kamara and Metcalf kind of stinking. Kamara had a decent game in week 1. He had like 18, so he had a good week. But like he sucked there, and like Metcalf, Kupp, and Henderson have been my two horses. So feeling pretty good. I need to figure out Gesicki because he's been awful. So maybe there's another one with that switch up of Tua. Maybe Brissett comes in and does decent. He did have 6 targets last week, but so hoping he can turn around. I'm still holding out hope for him, but feeling pretty good. I think my team's solid. I like my guys are putting up. Cup, Henderson, and Pittman have been just solid dudes who've been putting up a good baseline for me.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Henderson, I guess he's a little dinged up too.
Yeah, a little. I think he got a little dinged up, but.
And they play Tampa, so hopefully Tampa can notice that Cup's been just destroying people, and they're pretty good defensively. So hopefully that matchup isn't too much in your favor. You know, I'm sitting at the mirror image of your record at 0-2, unfortunately. Like, I'm the highest projected team in the league this week. I've been projected like 140 every week, which I realize isn't worth that much, but it's just like confirmation that like my team isn't that bad.
Right.
Deebo Samuel has been really good, and he's firmly entrenched as my wide receiver 2 till further notice. Last week, I left Cortland Sutton on the bench, who blew up for like 25 points with Jerry Jeudy out. So I think he's probably my flex going forward. I guess maybe there's a chance Elijah Mitchell gets back in there, but he's dealing with an injury too. So I'm pretty locked in on this lineup. Hopefully Dalvin, you know, they don't seem that worried about him. It feels a little bit like Henderson's injury, like he missed practice Wednesday, but I expect him to play.
Yeah.
Our matchup comes down to Wilson and Dalvin against Cousins and Metcalf in that 425 Seattle, Minnesota game. Whoever one of those tandems are going to decide our outcome, I think.
Yeah, and that's true. That'll be fun to watch. But
after Seattle gave up 200 rushing yards to Derrick Henry, that's enough for me to take myself. I'm picking myself. We're not going 0-3. I'm going to knock your ass off and make you do an embarrassing TikTok. So I'm voting for myself.
I have to roll with myself. I just have to have the confidence. But I don't know. I think, honestly, if it wasn't me, I think I would choose you. I mean, it's crazy how, you're one of the highest projected points in the league. And if you fall to 0-3 with like a good team, but you just ran through a buzzsaw last week with Rhodes, like 164, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So I'm not doing myself any favors. It's not like I'm losing 163 to 135. Though.
Right, yeah.
Week 1, I scored 106. Week 2, I scored 109. Like, my guys just aren't really – I haven't had a full team effort yet. There's been just, like, goose eggs here and there and weird games. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm going to keep the faith. I've been, whispering to a few owners about maybe some trades. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But anyway, should be fun. Good luck. And move on to the next one on my board is I see Ty Man's All-Stars versus Teflon Don, a fun rivalry. You guys love talking shit.
Yeah.
I hope they back up all that shit talk with a big-ass bet this week on this matchup.
I mean, I think Ty Man could have a rivalry with a lot of guys on this list.
Yeah, Ty Man seems to piss off a lot of people. So maybe the people will be chomping at the bit to get a rivalry week with him next year. But Teflon has the most history with him. Ty Man's been pretty good. He had a good week last week. He's just been riding Mahomes. Keenan Allen's been fine. He's won basically 19-15 back-to-back. Hawkinson's been fantastic, 25 and 20. Najee got in the end zone last week, which has to make you feel good. But I guess Big Ben was the other injury we didn't mention. He might not play.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, frankly, might be an upgrade. He's been horrible.
Yeah.
But I think Teflon's team just is a better team. And matchup-wise, I will say Ty Man probably has better matchups just because Latif has Aaron Jones at San Francisco, and he has Stafford against Tampa, two of his best players. So I think that's why the projections show Ty Man as a favorite. But I think Teflon has too much firepower. I don't think these matchups. Oh God, yeah, God went the Rams too. Ugh. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Teflon. I'm just thinking. I like Stafford. Even though he's in Tampa Bay, Dallas showed that could be a shootout game. So if that turns out to be a little bit of a shootout, which a lot of those Rams games kind of do, you have Stafford, Godwin, Tampa Bay D won't do any help there. But then I kind of like CD against Philly. I think Philly's being kind of pumped up as just like their defense has been playing well, but they've played some shitty teams. So I think, I guess San Francisco.
Are the Niners? Yeah, they did. Yeah, Niners. They impressed me against the Niners a little bit.
Niners are good, but I think CD will have a big game in Philly. I'm going Teflon. I agree. I think he has a solid solid team. Aaron Jones looked like he'd be back. So I don't know. I'm rolling Teflon. I just like his team.
Yeah, I'm with you. Too much firepower. I'll take Teflon as well. On to might be the mismatch of the week. The Fat Cat against Tony Horton. Tony Horton survived on Monday Night Football by 0.28 points over Toon Squad. And I wish I could give myself the title as the best 0-2 team in the league, but I think Toon Squad certainly earns that over me after two. I think he scored 280 points in the first 2 weeks, and he's 0-2. Like, that's just brutal.
Yeah,
and Tony Horton, first place versus last place.
Yep.
I remember when I texted Zach that Zach was going to be his rival, he was very excited. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, and he doesn't have. I mean, I guess his second wide receiver is looking pretty rough. But
yeah, Chenault's hurt. I think Laviska Chenault's hurt.
Yeah, so Rondale Moore had a good game last week, so maybe he'll be good. Yeah, I don't know.
He had one 77-yard broken play touchdown. Like,
oh, really? See, I didn't want. That's the problem not watching any of the games last week. It's like I just see the stats, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess he had a good week, but I need to watch the games this week actually.
Right. Up until that play, he had like 6 catches for 41 yards, and then he catches that, and you're like, holy shit, 7 for 114. But it was like a broken play scramble, and it was like a broken coverage. Yeah, I mean,
still good getting 8 targets though. Not bad.
Yeah, no, he was certainly a worthwhile waiver pickup. But yeah, this is there's a reason Zach's in 14th and Horton's in 1st. I don't expect this one to be very close.
Yeah, no, I think Kyler's obviously been a stud. McLaurin with Heineke, he was good last year with Heineke. He's back, had a great game last week with him. You have Hopkins, a lot coming down to that Arizona game, but then you have Rondale kind of canceling out Kyler, or Kyler canceling out Rondale, I should say. I like Horton. I think he's first for a reason. I think he's going to put up around 130 and roll over the Fat Cat.
Okay. The Brothers Rhodes Toon Squad, which Jared got married this past weekend. Congratulations, Jared.
Congratulations.
Hopefully you can follow up the wedding weekend with kicking your brother's ass. Again, the Hard Luck Toon Squad, the Doves, had a night and day performance. In week 1, he was the lowest scoring team in the league because Rodgers and Zeke did nothing. And then against me, I think he was high score of the week, so like 165. So
yeah,
he's got to feel nice about bouncing back. And I mean, I said it on this program last week, like that 65 points he put up was a very misleading number, and his team is really good. And
right.
I think he's going to be around. Like DJ Moore looks like he's found new life with Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Julio Jones seems like he might be the better receiver to own in Tennessee, which I think comes as a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase, he scored again. He has 2 games, 2 scores. So like, I don't know. I think
Cooks
the older Rhodes has a really good team.
Cooks is averaging 20 a game too.
Yeah. Right.
Is that? Yeah.
Wait, I was talking about older Rhodes, but yeah, Brandon Cooks has been good on Toon Squad.
Yeah.
They both have really good teams. Devontae Adams hasn't really paid off the way you'd hoped he would, but Lockett's been amazing, 26 and 31 back to back.
Yeah, he's been stealing from Metcalf for me. He's been the guy there.
And Mixon had a bad week in week 2, but he still had 20 carries. He had a couple catches. Like,
yeah.
He's getting all the volume and opportunity you want. Gibson's probably your biggest concern here at Buffalo. Buffalo has been a really stout defense. Shut down Najee week 1, shut down Myles Gaskin week 2. I think that's going to be a really tough spot for Washington. I guess your only hope is Gibson catches maybe 7 or 8 balls out of the backfield.
Yeah.
This is a tough one to call. I like the releasing Doves in this. I think he sends Toon Squad to 0-3.
I'm going to go Toon Squad. I'm going to go with the groom. I think Adams is going to get in the end zone this week. He hasn't had a touchdown yet. He's usually a machine, so I think he gets in the end zone. Again, I'm not really sure why, but I have a feeling that Tampa Bay Rams game might be a little bit of a shootout, kind of going along with week 1 with Dallas. I don't know. I'm just feeling that's going to be putting up numbers with Brady. And then, like you said, with like Mixon, and then Cooks has been really good. We'll see what happens. Weird stuff happens on Thursday night. We'll see what happens tonight. So I'm going with Toon Squad.
That was the other quarterback injury miss. Tyrod's out. It's Mills Mafia, Mills Davis.
Oh yeah,
Mills tonight.
I
think Mills Mafia is hilarious.
Mills Mafia. I'm gonna keep rolling with Toon Squad. We'll see if Mills Davis can keep throwing to Brandon Cooks, but I'm gonna roll Toon Squad in this one. I think he gets his first dub.
All right, we disagree. Moving on, the Luchinator against the Cool Cats. Luchinator, hot start to the year, knocks down his childhood bully John Nigro in week 2 to improve to 2-0. The Cool Cats took me down in week 1 and then came up short against you, I believe, last week, falls to 1-1.
Yep.
Luchinator, let's see, James Robinson has his owners feeling a little bit better because his usage was up. And in week 1, it was absolute panic city. He played like 32% of the snaps, but I think last week was like back to 70%. So it may not be as dire as it seemed. Mm-hmm. On the Cool Cat side, Lamar Jackson, really played a fucking awesome game and went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs last week and took him down.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper dealing with a little bit of an injury, but seems like he's going to play. Derrick Henry, I can't believe like the Cool Cats lost with Derrick Henry putting up 50. That stings.
Yeah. 47, Jesus.
I mean, I guess the rest of this team just didn't do enough. What did Kenyon Drake do last week? 10 points. Okay. I don't know. I think I like Lucha's team better. I like Jefferson against Seattle. I think that game could be a shootout. I think that's one of the highest totals of the week.
Yeah.
Philly versus Dallas, that could be a shootout. Chiefs versus Chargers. Yeah, I think Luch keeps rolling. I'm going to take Luch as the favorite here to improve to 3-0. You agree or disagree?
Let's see. I'm going to disagree. I think Lamar's going to roll into Detroit and have a good game in Detroit. Cooper in Philly. I think Dallas is going to roll over Philly. Pascal's been pretty good. I know he got a little bit banged up, but he's been pretty much the guy in Indy. We'll see if Wentz plays and if that changes that. And then you have Henry in Indianapolis. Carson, like you said, that should be a little bit of a shootout. So yeah, I'm actually rolling Cool Cats. I think he's going to put up a good week, and I don't know. I like his matchups this week. I think he has a really good team. I think he goes 2-1.
All right. Moving on, the Buffaloes against Big Daddy AE. I believe this was called the old school versus new school rivalry, as Kipper's been playing fantasy since we were all wearing diapers, and AE is the newest participant in the league. Kipper's 2-0, and Josh Allen has had a 14-point game and a 12-point game. So he's got to be feeling pretty good. He's doing it on the back of, really Adam Thielen and Christian McCaffrey, who have been two of the best players in fantasy so far.
Yep. Yeah, Thielen's been great. McCaffrey, he should have a great game tonight. I'm putting some anytime TD bets on him and some prop bets, same game parlay bets on CMC. Yeah, I mean, Kipper's team is looking good. Deontay Johnson seems to be the guy in Pittsburgh. We'll see if that continues with Big Ben out. How's Ingram been doing? Has Ingram been putting up numbers?
He had 14 carries week 1 or week 2 at least.
Yeah, he's kind of been bit of the bell cow there at least. And then Devonta Smith. I mean, he only had 2 receptions, but he had 7 targets. So, I mean, he's getting the targets in Philly, so he can always put up a good number. So, yeah, I just like Kipper's team. I think Allen's, I'm hoping as a Bills fan that he's coming into his own and going to put up a big week on Washington. So, yeah, I like Kipper here. He just has a good team. Big Daddy AE, not a terrible team. I like his squad, but I think the Lows roll to 3-0.
If you had TJ Hawkinson and someone offered you George Kittle, would you say yeah?
Oh. I'd probably roll with Hawkinson.
Yeah, I think I would do the same. I think Kittle's, his lack of usage. He had 5 targets week 1, 4 targets week 2. I mean, a Kittle bomb is always in the cards, but his inconsistency to start the year, has got to get you feeling a little uneasy. Same with Robbie Anderson. He was a target darling last year, and he has 9 through 2 games. So
Yeah.
it feels like Darnold has moved on to DJ Moore and McCaffrey, and Robbie Anderson's really an afterthought there.
Yep.
Same with Allen Robinson last week. He scored a touchdown in the first quarter, and we have him in the league that we managed together. And I was like, all right, like, here we go. Allen Robinson bounce back game. Let's score 25 points. And he basically did absolutely nothing for the rest of that game.
Yeah.
I think there are reasons to be concerned about AE's team. Javonte Williams, against the Jets, that's a good spot. Damian Harris, I don't know. I think AE's in a spot of bother here, and he needs some of these guys to step up and start seeing a bigger opportunity and volume load, because his whole team just seems to be lacking volume at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Kipper's he's a solid team. I think he has a pretty low floor or high floor. So I don't think he's gonna, put up less than 120 or so. So I think he rolls over AE this week.
All right, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Buffaloes as well. So on to the final week, the Nigro Derby. I forget exactly what we called this one, but both sitting at 0-2, not feeling great. I've been shitting on Toast all year because I hated his team out of the draft, and I still hate his team. I actually think Nigro is trending in the right direction. Gronk might be the steal of the draft if he keeps doing what he's doing. He had 4 touchdowns through 2 weeks, which is insane. I think Fournette is fine as a flex. I actually think that this is the week to try to trade for Saquon Barkley. Most owners with Saquon Barkley are 0-2, but his usage rates in week 2 were much higher than week 1. He has 10 days off to get healthy and get right before facing Atlanta at home, who's been just the worst team in football, possibly.
Yeah.
If you are wanting to make a move for Saquon in other leagues or something, or try to tempt JN, I think this could be the week to do it. I think Saquon bounces back, scores a touchdown, catches 6 balls, scores 25 points, and hopefully gets going. And if he doesn't, then it's fucking yikes. Then this is a much longer issue. But
right.
I think the Hitters are trending in the right direction. They have a new starting quarterback in Derek Carr over Tannehill getting the bench, it looks like. That's interesting. Who do you start there?
I'd probably roll Tannehill. I like Tannehill. He has some, he can run a little bit. But Tennessee's been kind of shitty. So I don't know. I feel like Derek Carr has some high upside with Ruggs and stuff like that. He can always put up some big splash plays, and he's been awesome the first 2 weeks. So, in Miami, I mean, obviously the Bills rolled over Miami, so their defense isn't looking very good. I'd probably roll Carr this week, but I would probably think that I'd roll Tannehill for the rest of the year. If I had to release one of the two, I'd probably release Carr.
Okay. With all that being said, I'm going to continue picking against burnt toast. I'll probably pick against him all year because that sounds fun. I will take the Hitters in this one.
Yeah, his running backs have been pretty disappointing. Jonathan Taylor, I wanted him going into the draft. I thought he had such a good end of the season last year. He's kind of been shitty, talking about usage rates, not getting much there. Edwards-Helaire, kind of the same thing there. He's been, it's one of those things that people say all the time, like having anyone on that offense you would think would be money. And it's like the fact that he can't get anything going is just a head scratcher. But yeah, I like Hitters. I think Hitters gets a win on the board. I kind of like what you're saying about Barkley. And yeah, kind of going to be an interesting one with Ridley, Falcons, Giants. That'll be an interesting game. 2 shitty teams. But no, I'm going to roll with the Hitters. I think he pulls it out. I think this is the lowest scoring matchup of the week, but Hitters pulls it out.
All right, so let's get to the lead pipe locks of the week. With this year, I don't know if you're able to overlay our yearly win-loss scores under our little pictures here, but that could be fun. I think I went 1-1 last week. I hit the Bills, and I lost the Thursday night under. And then I picked Luch to win, and he did. So I guess 2-1, but 1-1 in the picks against the spread. How'd you do?
I think I went 0-2. I had the under in the San Fran Eagles game. And I think they scored 52 in that game. So I think that was a bad beat a little bit. And then who else did I have? I had I definitely lost the other one, though. Shoot. Forget what it is. We'll overlay it, though. But I went 0-2, and then I believe I took the Buffaloes, and they rolled over who they had last week. So, yeah, I think I was 1-2 last week. Not winning a lot of money if you're tailing the Jibby Johns, that's for sure.
You want to go first this week? One total, one spread, and then your fantasy lock?
You go first again, because I haven't looked at too much this week. So let me take a quick look as you're going.
All right. That means you're giving me Tony Horton. I will take Tony Horton as the lock of the week. I don't expect this one to be even remotely close. I think Zachy is headed for another long season. I think Horton rolls him easily. And then my bet of the week, this is a hold your nose, and take it. The value's too good. We're going to take the Detroit Lions at home +8, hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens coming off a huge week 2 win over the Chiefs. Back on the road. I'm a believer that this Lions team isn't as bad as even the score looked on Monday night. And I think this is a backdoor cover situation. I like the Lions a lot, +8. My total of the week, I'm more of an under better than an over better, which probably sounds pretty lame to most people. But it's the only bet where you're winning 98% of the time, and I enjoy that. Yep. I'm going to take the under in the Rams Bucks, which is 55.5. I think I don't think this will shoot out the way Dallas Tampa did. I think the Rams defense is too good. They're going to pressure Brady up the middle. I think 55.5 is too much. So I will take the under there, under 55.5.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to roll for the rivalry week for the pick in the MBMFL. I'm going to go with the Hitters as my lock of the week. I think maybe all your roasting on toast has come to my end, but I think Hitters is going to roll over them. I like Hitters' team a little bit. I just don't see him going 0-3, so I think he's going to get that one win. So that's mine there. As for my picks, as for my total, I'm going to go kind of lame and go the under as well. And I'm going to roll with the under in the Raiders. Let me find that here. Damn. The Raiders Dolphins. Dolphins offense stinks. It's a 44. It's a pretty low total, but I'm not a big believer in D-Car, and the Dolphins with Brissett just didn't look good in there. So I'm going to roll the under. I just don't see those teams scoring more than 44 points total. So I'm going with the under there. And then I'm going to roll with an underdog here. I was kind of surprised by the spread, and that's the Jets at the Broncos. Jets +10.5. The Jets stink, but the Broncos kind of stink too. And I don't know. I think
2-0 Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a lot of respect on the Broncos name. I think Zach Wilson gets his head out of his ass a little bit, pulls it together. I just don't see that game. The total's 42, pretty low. I just don't see it being that much of a blowout. So I'm going Jets +10.5.
All right. Well, that's it. Enjoy the Ryder Cup this weekend. This is going to be an awesome weekend for sports. We have week 3. We have Ryder Cup.
Who you got in the Ryder Cup?
I sort of want the U.S. to lose after watching Brooks Koepka's interview.
I didn't see it. I heard a lot of rumblings on the group chat, but he's the worst.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. He bothers me. So I guess I'll still root for the U.S., but it would be kind of fun to see just
Brooks go down.
Chaos that would ensue if Europe somehow beats the heavily favored American team at home. But should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But everyone have a nice week too. Let's stay healthy. Let's make some money. Let's win some games. Commissioner and JB out. See you, boys.
Peace, boys.